Alrighty, guys. So my name is Kate with Scott Ryan Marketing. Today, I'm going to be teaching you guys campaigns in Command. And with that, we're going to be specifically looking at, email campaigns. So we're going to take a look at creating a custom email campaign and using all of the available options for what we can include in an email campaign. We're also going to take a look at one of the templates that KWRI has and how we can edit and tweak that to use that. Once we have those designs created in Command, the last thing we're going to do is we are just going to take a look at how to actually send that out as an email campaign to our contacts in Command. So let's go ahead and jump in. If you have any questions as we're going, please go ahead and drop those in the chat. Generally, we'll have about 10 minutes to go over questions at the end, but that can give or take as we go through things and how we're doing. So let's go ahead and jump in. So the first thing we want to do is we want to log into Command. If you're not familiar with Command, you're going to access Command by going to agent.kw.com. I'll drop that in the chat for you guys as well. Once you're there, you're going to use your username and password to sign in. Now keep in mind, your username is not case sensitive. So if you don't have capital letters, that is totally okay. Your password, however, is going to be case sensitive. If you're having any issues with that, KW did do a mass reset on passwords about a month ago if your password did not meet the requirements. So if you're having any trouble, you may just need to hit that forgot password and reset that. Also, if you're having trouble, click that little eyeball. Make sure there's no spaces before or after your password, capitals, all that good stuff is there where it's supposed to be. Now, once we are logged into Command, your home screen can look a little bit different from mine, and that is totally okay. They are somewhat customizable here on this front page. For today's class, the first thing we want to take a look at is going to be under our name in the top right corner. So if you want to click, there's a little drop down right next to your name in the top right corner. If you click that, you're going to come down to Settings. And once you click on that, you'll be brought into your settings of Command. And from there, you want to click Connect Settings on the left-hand side. There's a little drop down and the marketing profile. Now, the reason we want to take a look at this marketing profile is because this profile is the profile that feeds over all of your information into your website, into your KW consumer app. It's also going to feed a lot of the marketing into the email designs. So this is super important for us to cover today because this information has to be edited in here in order for it to appear correctly in your email design. So you want to make sure that this is turned on and you've got a green light. You want to make sure that you have a headshot. We do recommend it's 360 by 360 pixels. If you need any help resizing that, you can reach out to our support email. We're happy to resize that. The reason that size is recommended, if you're not using that size, you may in some places see that your headshot is distorted, stretched out, maybe your head or your chin are cut off, anything like that. So you just want to make sure it's that perfect little square, so that it will display correctly everywhere. Now, next is a team logo. This one can be super important for the email templates. This team logo does often pull to the footer of the email designs. And if you do not have a logo there, you'll have a broken image in your email. So if you're not on a team, there are a couple other options for putting a logo there. You can put a branded logo for yourself if you've branded yourself as a solo agent. You can put a generic Keller Williams logo there, so one that is not specific to your market center. We've also seen people put their headshot there again. That will also work. So if you have a different headshot you'd like to use, or if you just want to put the same one, that will also work. And I'll show you when we're in our email templates where this will pull to, so you can kind of understand why that makes sense. But again, do recommend having something there in case you're using email templates. You don't want those to look like there's a broken photo there. Your details, so your first and last name, License number is super important, not required, but will pull into some of the email designs. So if it's missing, you may see an error. Um, Moving down, you have your bio, that's required, phone numbers, email. Your website is another one that is not required, but in some cases may cause an error when you're creating email designs. So definitely strongly recommend to have that there. It is going to be the full URL. And if you're using a KW website, you're going to want to make sure you're not putting a www. The KW sites actually don't need that in order to work, and it will cause your website to error. So next is your Market Center information. So you want to make sure you have your Market Center specific logo, all of their details. Now, if you don't have your Market Center specific logo, you can click this KW Connect button, and it will redirect you to where you can easily find your logos. You just come down, search your Market Center name or number, and it will allow you to download those and add that logo there. Now moving down, we also have legal footers. If these are necessary for your Market Center, you'll want to make sure that they're included. If you're not sure, you can certainly reach out to your Market Center staff and they can let you know if there are any required links or images, anything like that that need to be added. Moving down, you have your social links. You'll put the entire URL. So for Instagram, for example, you're not going to want to use your handle. You're going to want to grab that full URL for your public facing profile. Super important that it's public facing because otherwise, when someone is clicking on that, they may not be able to access it. Lastly, if you have Google Analytics, once everything on your marketing profile is up to date and ready to go, you just want to make sure you hit save, and you are all set. So again, if you joined us late, we are covering the marketing profile. Super important for the email designs because it does pull this information into your headers and footers for email campaigns. So if you missed that and need to go back, definitely check out that recording. But the next thing we're gonna do is I'm gonna go back to home just so we're all starting from a familiar place. Now, once we're on the home screen, we want to go down to the designs. So if you're not sure what these applets are on the left-hand side are, you can hover over them and it will tell you. You can also hit this red and white KW that looks like it's not a button, but it is. And it will expand that left-hand side so you can see what each of those are. Now, again, we're going to start in designs. That's going to look like a kind of a paintbrush with a canvas behind it. So we're going to click on that, and I'm going to close this up. Now from here, we're brought into our designs dashboard. Now, you may not have any designs here if you haven't gotten started in Command Designs just yet. These are previous designs we've created. So if you don't have anything, not to worry. The next thing we want to do from here, though, is we want to hit Create Design in the top right corner. Now, some devices, instead of saying Create Design in the top right, will have a same color circular button down here that says it has a plus sign. So if you're seeing that, that will be your Create New as well. Now, once we hit Create, we want to focus on these email designs. Now, email designs are going to give us different templates than these other three. So super important that you select email here. And we're going to go ahead and hit next. Once we do that, we're brought into the templates. Now, these are templates created by Keller Williams International for you to utilize. Now, that's not to say you can't take an open house template and use it for a newsletter. You can create whatever you'd like. These are just templates to kind of help you get started. So you can, of course, use one of these for whatever you'd like. I know we see a lot with this Happy New Year one. You don't have to use this for Happy New Year. You could create this as a Merry Christmas, Happy Holiday, whatever you'd like. Customize that template and make it your own. Before we jump into the templates, though, I want us to create a template from scratch. So for us to do that, we're going to do create a new template in the top right corner. Now we are brought into the email design editor. So you'll see that we have untitled email. This is where we can name it. So as you can see, it's providing me with my last ones. We'll do newsletter December. I was just doing newsletter because my email here is not going to be very pretty at the end. We're just going to make sure we cover all of the layout and content pieces so you know what they all do and how to create your own custom template. So keep that in mind as we're going along. If things don't look too pretty, I'm not sending this to anyone. Anyways, once you have your title of your email there, that is internal only, just for you. You don't have to hit save or anything. It's automatically going to save that. Now to the right, we have options. If we click this, we have the option to preview, send a test email, and download a template. So we're going to come back to these. Next, we have save, save and close, and X. So that will close this out. Now down below the title, we have a couple of different options for how we're viewing this email. So we have the desktop. We're going to have a tablet version. So that will show us what that email will look like on a tablet when someone is viewing it. And you also have your mobile device. So it is going to show you that view. Now, when I say this, you cannot customize it specifically for a cell phone. You cannot customize it specifically for a tablet. This just allows you to view that as you're creating it to make sure that everything looks good on all of the various platforms. So in some cases, you may need to adjust the entire email. Just keep that in mind. We're going to go back to desktop. Now next, we have the view components option. That's going to allow us to view these different components as we add to it and kind of section them off. We have the preview option, which will open that as a preview and also allow us to see the different tablet, iPhone, or mobile device. We have undo and we have redo. So that will allow you to undo or redo any changes you've had. Now to the right, this is where we have our layout, our content, and you can minimize these. These are the different ways that you can create and customize your email. Now next to blocks, that's going to be your layout and content. You also have background. So this is a rather new feature. You do have the ability to create a background for your email. So you could change the color, you can add an image, whatever you'd like to do. So you have the body width, you have the container padding. The padding is basically a border around it, so just keep that in mind as you're going through. Kind of a weird name, but it's just the padding around the sides of the image. And then down here you have background, so you can select a color or an image. So if we wanted to do color, whoops, we could just click on that color block. This will allow us to find whatever color we'd like. Let's go with this one for a second. As you can see, it's going to turn the entire email that color. You also have the dropper. So if you're trying to match the color of something in your photo or an image you're using, you can drag that dropper and find that color so that you can make that background that exact color. You can also add in the hex color if you have that information. So just keep that in mind as well. We are going to put this back to white because otherwise it kind of hurts my eyes. And again, you can add an image that will allow you to grab an image from your computer. By hitting replace, it will allow you to either grab one you've previously used in Command. So these are ones I've previously used on email designs. So if you wanted to use something that looks similar to a template or a, can't think of the name, you could do that. So if we replace, you'll see that it's giving us that photo there. I'm going to take that away. We're going to leave it as a color. Now we're going to go back to our blocks. So our blocks is where we can decide if we want to have a specific layout for our design. So if we want to have one column, if we want to have one column and then two, if we want to have three, you also have the 3-7. And then you have a divider. A divider will allow you to put that either between one piece or across the entire thing. And sometimes you got to really play around with it to get it. There we go. That green line is going to show you where it's dropping that. So as you can see, when I'm placing those items, it's giving me that green line above the item. That's going to tell me where it's going to place that. And I'm simply just dragging and dropping them over to my template over here. Sorry, we just got a few people joining the class. Now, you don't have to use these layout options. These are just available if you'd like to. I'm going to delete a few of them. Now, I'm just going to delete them by clicking on that. I got to click on the whole thing, and then I have a trash can. We're going to also delete this one here and this one. We're going to leave the one column and then the divider. Um, and then we're going to come down to our content button. So I'm going to go ahead and minimize this. Now, content, let's say we want to have text at the top of our newsletter. We're going to go ahead and drag that. That's going to put that text in that column box. Now we can change this. So let's just say December newsletter, or you could say happy holidays, whatever you'd like. Now we can also change the text if we want to mess around with that. If we want to make it italic, let's make it a little bit bigger. Let's do really big. Actually, let's go a little smaller. Let's try to keep it all on one line. There we go. Now, keep in mind, it's all on one line here, but if I were to switch to mobile, it's going to have it on two lines. So that's one of those things I said, it's going to change as you're going between the two. Just keep that in mind, and create it how you like. Now we're going to also change the color. So color we have right here, we can change that color. Again, we can grab this from, if we have an image, we can certainly grab it from there, so that the colors are exact, but this is just up to you. Now you also have, of course, if you want it right hand, left hand centered, if you need numbers or bullets, indents, if you need to add links, you also have your emojis. If you wanted to add anything, you can certainly grab those and include those as well. Oops. Now down below, we have our styling. Again, this is our width. We have our padding. If you want to have a border around that, you can certainly toggle that on. As you can see, it did put a black border around that. We can change the color. Let's say we want to go green for the holidays. Let's find a dark green. There we go. And we can also change the radius and the width. So let's do the width first, 5. As you can see, it's going to get thicker. Let's do 10 so you can really see it. There's our box. You can also change the radius. What that's going to do is, as you can see, it kind of curves my box. So I can make it circular, rounded, whatever you want to do. We're going to delete that. But that is just all of the options you have. Now we are going to come back to this first name in just or this drop down right here in just a second. Now that I've finished that box, I can move on to my next item. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and grab my legal header, and we're going to pop that at the top. And I'm going to also grab my legal footer. Now this is why we went over those marketing profiles at the beginning of class. You can see here that this stuff looks like it's broken. It looks like I need to go in and edit this. These boxes cannot be edited within the design. However, if we click the preview, we're now able to see it is pulling all of that information from the marketing profile. So that's, again, why we went over that. It's just super important to get it updated, make sure everything is correct. And that team logo. So that team logo is pulling right here. So again, if you didn't have a logo, sometimes it will look like a little broken square, just like this right here, next to the Market Center logo, and it will actually send your contacts like that. So it is just best to have something there. And again, that's why I said you could also put a headshot, because it is pulling in your information here on the right. So your photo would work there as well. Now, one thing I do like to point out here is it has your address for the office twice. That cannot be edited. That is one of those things that is going to pull from the marketing profile, and there is only one location for the address. So it's just going to appear twice there. And if you guys see me skipping over questions, we will come back to those. So do not worry, I will check your questions. But moving along, let's go ahead and add another text box, because now I want to go over these little drop downs. So let's just say hello, or let's say, let's put the agent or the name first. So this is the merge tag. So what this does is it pulls information from your command. So agent's information, that's going to pull from your marketing profile. So if you don't have those websites or bios or license numbers, things like that, it's not going to pull that information unless it's in your marketing profile. So that's the reason it's super important to have that fully updated. Now, if we come down, your market center information, this is going to pull again from that marketing profile and command. And then down below that, we have contact information. This is going to pull this specific information from the contact that the email is being sent to. So if you want to do contact first name, you could go ahead and click that. It's going to add it too. And then we can just say, wishing you, I can never type when I'm teaching. So we're just going to keep it simple. Now that I have that there, of course, I can make any changes I want, but I'm going to go ahead and click back. And we're going to click the preview again because if you were to send this as a test email to yourself, it's not going to show contact first name. It is going to show exactly like you see it here. And the reason for that being when you're sending a test email, it is only pulling an email address. There is no contact information associated with that email address. Even if you have yourself in your email in your command for the test email, it does not pull that. However, when we're previewing this, we now have a new button at the top that we did not have before we added this. So we can click that drop down and grab a contact name so that we can confirm that that is working. So you can grab anyone in here and plug that in, and it's going to put their name right there so you can make sure it's working correctly. Let's just take a quick look at the questions. So let's see. I'm not sure where you get the hex number. That would just be if you have it from something you're using. I know some of the style guides for KW have some, so other things that you're using may too. Um, Trying to add one column. Um, oh, perfect. That worked. Okay. The team logo cannot be removed. So you will want to have a photo down there of either the generic KW logo or something else. Um, All right, I'm going to come back to that other question. Let's go through the rest of this. So our next content item is an image. So we're going to go ahead and grab that and drag and drop it. Now again, my images. This is going to show images that I've already added to command and used in an email design. So I can certainly add another photo by going to add images and pulling that in from my computer. So let's just grab a quick Christmas photo if we can. Let's just say happy holidays. Whoops. Guys, I swear I can type when I'm not teaching. When I'm on the computer teaching, I cannot. Um, let's just grab a super simple one. Let's go ahead and grab this. I'm going to save it. And we are going to go ahead and pull that in. So I'm going to just drag and drop it. I've got it right up here. We're going to drag drop. Now that I have that photo selected, I can click on it. It's going to have that dark blue around it. We're going to hit save, and it's going to add that photo directly to my newsletter. Now I can take a look at these other options with images. So if I want to link that image, so if they click on that image and I want them to be redirected, I can grab a link or a URL. So let's just go ahead and do that. Now, if they click on that photo, it's going to redirect them to this link. Now we have this styling, we have the width, the padding. Let's take a look at this really quick. As you can see, it's adding that padding above and below. So that is what that does. It just adds that space. The position of it, the border, do we want it to be the full width? That's going to make it smaller. So in some cases, if you're using this and you see that it's not transferring correctly over here, you may want to adjust that width. It might be cutting off the image a little bit. And then again, that border radius. So you can take a look at all of those items and adjust this. We're going to go ahead and make this a little bit bigger. Let's just do 90. Once we're done though, and we've got everything good here, we can just go ahead and hit back. And now we can take a look at our next option. Now our next option is a button. Let's say we're having a hot cocoa event at our office. We want to invite all of our clients. They can register to come and we can, or a toy drive, whatever you've got going on. If you need a button for something, generally something they're going to register or click to learn more, or anything like that, kind of your call to action. But I'm going to go ahead and just do register here. Now that's going to adjust the text on this box. Now I get to link it. So if I had a Google form or a registration, I can go ahead and link that there so that they're redirected to that to go ahead and register or sign up or whatever's going on. Now the next one we have is the button width. So this will allow it to fill the entire length of that, or if we just want it to fit the content. So you can adjust that whatever you like. We can get our color. So this is perfect way to use the drag and drop. Let's say we want to get Rudolph's nose. It's going to make that exact color. And then we do get the hex color. So that might be a way to help you grab that too, if you're interested in using that feature. You can change your text if we want it to match what we have up top. You can change the font size. The text color can be changed as well if you want to make that a little bit different. And then again, your padding around it. This will allow you to do it on all of it. So as you can see, it's going to adjust that entire thing. So just keep that in mind as you're playing around. And then you have the border option here as well. So you can create that border if you want to put around that. It's going to make it right around that button. So that is up to you if you want to use that or not. We're going to go back. Now that we have our button, the next thing we have is, we've already done the legal header and the legal footer. The next thing we have is a listing block. So if you wanted to add in your listings you had, you can go ahead and grab that in. You can auto-fill the information from a listing. It's going to allow you to pull those details directly from the KWLS. Now I'm just going to grab this first one. We're not going to dig around for one. It's going to allow me to pull that photo in, pull all of the information right here for me. I can add a link. So if I want to link to my website for that specific property, I can certainly create that and add that link here. I can change the font. That's going to change all of the text and change the color of that font. Probably not something I'm going to do, but we'll do it just so you guys can see it. If we want to change the padding again, we can mess with that. Left, right, center. I think this one only allows you, no, it doesn't. It moves it a little bit. So as you can see, it's just moving it around. And then lastly, on this one, you also have the vertical option. So vertical will change the layout of that. I want to say it changes it on the mobile as well. So just keep that in mind. That is something that's going to auto adjust even if you have selected horizontal. Now you can add as many listings as you want. If you have 3, 4, 5, you can add as many as you want. You can keep doing that. You can also use the columns, add those, however you want to do it. Now next is our event block. So we're going to grab that one, drag it over. Now, event block would be perfect for what we were kind of talking about up here. If you have an event going on, if you have an open house coming up, and you just want to share those details, you can do that right here. Now, if we click on the image, we can go ahead and edit that. We can do replace. Now, one thing we didn't cover just yet is you have the My Images, which is stuff I've already used. You have Add New Images. You also have listing images, so this will allow you to pull those in. So again, if you have an open house coming up and you want to just grab that stuff from right here, you can go ahead and grab it, pull it in. It's going to add that photo. You can change the date time. Let's say December 14th, 2024 at 5 p.m. We'll go ahead and leave it. Not likely that we're having an open house at 5 p.m., but that's okay. Event title. You could put the description or whatever else you'd like to put here, just any information you might want to add. Again, it's going to give you all the same options as the text we included up top. So changing the color, bold, links, etc. It's got everything there. You have the styling, so padding, border, that can all be added as well. And then lastly, in the event content, you also have a button. So if you're trying to create something and you don't want to do it piece by piece, or if you're trying to create an event and you don't want all this extra information, you could do it like before. But it gives you the button, You can change that again. Grab your colors. It will adjust all of that for you. Next is video. So we're going to go ahead and grab the video and drag it in. Now, with the videos, these do need to be public videos. So we do recommend adding them to YouTube or another platform that is similar to allow you to have it public and use that URL. So with that being said, I'm just going to grab a quick video from our YouTube. We're going to add that URL right here. Now, once I add the URL, I still need to add a thumbnail to my video. So what do I want that to show? Let's see if we have one in here. If not, we'll just grab something else. Here we go. We'll just grab this. We're going to hit replace. It will add that thumbnail right on the top. Now, of course, you can use any photo you'd like. Now we again have our width. If we wanted to change that, we can make that smaller. Padding can still be adjusted, border, all of the same things. So lots of options there for your customization. We can go ahead and go back. Now you can't test the video and play it here, so keep that in mind. And it does not allow you to play it here either. So you'd want to send yourself a test email, but it should be working as long as you have the correct URL. Now our last little content piece that we're going to pull in is going to be the Market Snap. So we're going to grab that. And this allows us to kind of post neighborhood trends. Now when we're doing this, we're going to grab a zip code. I'm going to grab the one off of the SLM site. And then once we type a zip code, we're going to want to find the neighborhood we're trying to highlight. So if you're wanting to do multiple neighborhoods, you may need to add multiple market snaps. But we can go ahead and find the neighborhood we're interested in highlighting. I'm just going to pick one. And you'll notice it's going to plug in all of the details for me, all of those stats. There is no way to manually edit those stats if something looks wrong. You would just want to either select a different neighborhood to highlight or create your own market snap in designs and add that. So that is also an option. Now with this, you can rename it. So if we want to do South Trends, whatever you want to call it, you can certainly name it. We have some other customization. So again, font, if we want to keep everything consistent, we can change it. We can change the color again. It will change right there and right there. You can also change the body text. So if you wanted to do a darker color, or if you wanted to leave it black, just letting you know that you can customize those colors. Again, padding, position, border, those can all be added as well. So, and then of course, if you want to go back, you can always go back and add dividers if you want to create some space. And those lines can be changed as well. So if you want to use a different color and make those bigger, you certainly can. So you can always come back and add your layout options. All right. Now that we have our email design pretty much done, we want to just take a quick look at it, preview, make sure everything looks good. Everything is good. Again, we can check that name, make sure it's pulling in. Good to go. Now, one recent thing, there is a test option. KW has recently made some changes to the test email. You can no longer select any email that you would like to send that test to. It automatically will go to your KW email. So if you're not using your KW email, definitely get logged into that and forward it to your personal email so you can still view that test email. Because unfortunately this can no longer be adjusted. But you could go ahead and send that test email. It will go over to your KW email and you can check everything out and make sure it works. I'm going to go ahead and save and close this. And we're going to take a look at the templates really quickly. Once we take a look at the templates, we're then going to go into campaigns and actually go over how to send it to your contacts. So we're going to do create design again, and we're going to go into email and next, and we're going to select a template. Now I'm going to go ahead and go with, let's just do open house. Keep it easy. We're gonna do next. And as you can see, the layout's a little bit different. We have a header, we have a divider, we have some information, a place to put the photo and property information, some additional photos. We have a button. Now this little box is custom to this template. So this is not a little content box that you can pull into any design. So if you like something like this, you'd want to just completely redo this for whatever you would like. But this is where it gets super important to have the license, website, designations, all of that in your marketing profile because you may get an error that something is missing if you don't have that information there. So if we go ahead and preview this, you'll see it's pulling all of those details directly from that marketing profile. So if you're not seeing it, you can't edit it again within the design. You need to go to the marketing profile directly to make those changes. But this email template, we could still add more to it if we wanted to. If we had a video of the property that we wanted to include, we can certainly grab that, add it in, include that with our email as well. So just because these are templates, you can still fully customize the template to whatever you're doing. But let's go ahead and edit this. So let's say we have Saturday, September 14th. We'll leave it at 10 to 3. It's a little long, but that's okay. We'll go ahead and grab our photo. Again, we can do replace, grab those listing images. We're just going to do 1, 2, 3, Main Street. Now, when searching for a listing, keep in mind you can also filter this to show only your listings. You can also change it to search by MLS and KWLS ID. So whatever is easiest for you, you can certainly grab that. Let's see if we've got one with some good photos, maybe. Let's go with this one. Looks like a little poor one. That's okay. Let's grab this one, replace, put our photo right there. We're going to come down, grab our other one. Now, the only thing here, guys, is you do have to search that property again. So this may be a little bit fun. Let's see it. Oh, nope, that's not it. Okay, well, we're just going to grab another photo just so we can save time. So let's just pretend these are all the same listing. Just grab this one this time too. So add all of your photos. Now here you will need to manually grab this information. So you'd want to make sure you have that information handy. You've pulled it up already. It's not going to pull it directly here for you guys. So a little bit different. Button, you can still, again, add your link if you want them to go to your website. If you created an open house sign-in sheet and you want to capture their information, whatever you want to use here, you can certainly do that. Add your video. And once we're all done with edits, I'm not going to fully edit this because we've gone over all of these pieces. But once we're all done, we can go ahead and just preview, take a look at that, and then we can save and close. The command does have stock images for different holidays. You would just want to go grab that in like a social piece and download it first, which you can certainly do. And if we have time, I can show you how to do that at the end. But really quickly, let's go through how to send this to our contacts now. So we're going to head over to Campaigns, which looks kind of like a megaphone. If you're getting that error, usually a refresh on your browser will clear it. Not always. Now, once we're in Campaigns, this is our dashboard for all of the various types of campaigns. As you can see, you can do paid ads, emails, direct mails, and social posts. We are going to focus on emails today. So if we click on that, we're brought into our emails, dashboard for campaigns. We can see how many we've sent the last 30 days, how many recipients, opens, and clicks. Every KW gets 5,000 emails per month that are included. Anything over 5,000, you'd want to upgrade your account, but you can see how many you have or how many you have left. and you can upgrade the account here if you need to. Now down below, we can search for specific emails we've sent in the past. Let's say we sent one last year and we wanted to take a look at that before we send the new holiday one. We could certainly do that. We can also filter these by mailed, scheduled, archived, draft, or all, and that's going to be the status of the email. You can check out the goal. So when we're creating these, we do have to select a goal. What is our purpose for this email? What are we trying to accomplish? The channel, so you could use Command Mail. You can also use MailChimp. You have your email list, which we're going to come right back to. And down below, you have your overview, which is the title of your email campaign. Again, these are internal. Nobody's going to see these when they're viewing your email. You have the status of the email, the date, how many sents, opens, clicks, the goal, and then you also have the ability to duplicate or archive. Now, if we click into one of these emails, you'll see additional information. So you can see who it was sent to, who it was delivered to, who opened the actual email and clicked into it. If someone unsubscribed, if it wasn't sent to them, whether their email was blocking it or something like that. And then also you can just see those not open, so most likely just got deleted. With that, it's going to show their name, the email address, if they have phone number, tags, all of that information. So you can view all of that in here under the actual email. Getting a little click happy. All right. So the next thing we want to do before we send our email is we want to create our email list. Now our email list is who is going to receive that email. You do have to have a list created in order to send the email out, even if it's your entire database. So just keep that in mind. But when you're doing this, you have MailChimp and Command Mail. So you have to decide which one you're creating a list for, and create list. So if we're creating brand new, we'll do class 1212. This is where you select your contacts. So if you're picking a contact one by one, or if you're trying to find someone specifically by a tag, so you could come through here and find the tag you're looking for. We'll go ahead and grab class demo. Now, once we have those, if you have everyone loaded, you won't have a load more, but if you have more context than what's displaying here, you'll have a load more at the very bottom. If you're wanting to select all contacts at once, you're going to want to make sure you load that until every contact is there and then hit select all. Now we have 7 contacts. With this, we're using a tag. Now I want to keep in mind, if you're adding new people to your database with that specific tag, it is not going to automatically add them to your email list. You will need to manually edit that each time, whether you're editing the pre-existing list or you're creating a brand new one. It's up to you on how you do that, but it will not automatically add them to the email list. So once we have everyone selected for our email today, we can go ahead and confirm. And it will create a new email list up here with the 7 contacts. Now, once I have that done, we're going to hit create campaign. I'm going to hit email because that's what we're working on today. I'm going to do class 1212. Again, this is internal. Nobody sees this but me. And then what is our goal? Are we advertising a listing? Are we attracting listings or talent, brand awareness, event, buyers, or is this other? So we kind of did a newsletter. I'm just going to focus on other. And then am I using Command Email or MailChimp? We're going to stick with Command Email. And now we're brought into our email campaign where we can finish creating that. So we have our campaign name, again, internal, the account that's using, and then we have our recipient list. Now, you can create your list from in here. We just find that there are less errors if you do it one at a time, meaning do the list first, but you can certainly create it in here. You can also edit the list. Then we have our send from. So this is sending from Scott Leroy Marketing. And if anyone replies to that email, it's going to go to support@Scott Leroy Marketing. Now, real quick, when we're sending these out, it's not going to come directly from this email. It's going to come from an email that says agent, a bunch of numbers at mailer.kw.com. There's no way to change the email that comes from. That is a KW thing. However, you can change the reply to, so wherever that email is going once the contact replies. You can also change the send from name. Now, those two items can be adjusted in your profile under settings. If you come all the way down to command email, you can manage that down here. You can manage your subscription. You can also change the sender name and the reply to email. Now we're going to enter our subject. Now this will show in the client's email as the subject, so whatever you want it to be. And then we select our design. Now this will show us our designs that we just created. So we have our open house. We also have the December newsletter. We're going to go with that one. It's going to open it up so we can, again, make sure if there's any last minute changes we need to do, any links, anything like that that we need to come back and fix. Otherwise, we can save and close. And once we do that, you'll see on the right-hand side, we now have an email preview where we can check out that email, make sure everything's good. We could still go in and edit it if we need to. A preview, again, send your test email. And it does actually, this is new, so it does actually give you from name, from email, and subject. It used to just send it. So you can see that information now. Also, if you missed it, so I clicked too quickly, it's showing that it's going to send a test to your KW email. Once we're done with all of this, everything is set up and good to go. We can go ahead and hit send, or we can schedule this. So if we're not quite ready to send it, and we want it to go out at a specific date, we could do that. You can also just save the draft, and it will show right here in your emails. Now we can go back, we can edit. Again, if we want to duplicate, archive, we can do any of those items as well. Let me see really quickly if I can show you a test email. I'm just going to look and see if I've got one that I can pull up. When they used to let me send it to wherever I wanted. Give me 1 second, guys. Alrighty. So when you send your test email, as you can see, it does the agent, a bunch of numbers at mailer.kw.com. Now, as you're scrolling down, I like to point out there is no unsubscribe. However, when this is physically sent to your contacts, to your database, it will have a button all the way at the bottom here that says if you'd like to unsubscribe. So just know that even though it doesn't show in the display, you can certainly know that that's going out to them to be able to unsubscribe. Alrighty. Well, as promised, we usually have about 10 minutes for questions. So I am going to stop record, and we're going to go through whatever questions you guys have in mind. And if I skipped any, we'll go back to those. If you don't have any questions and you want to jump off, thank you for coming today. I hope that this was helpful. And again, if you need to watch the recording, you can check out our YouTube channel for that. Alrighty, let's go ahead and stop.